Ring-a-ding-a-ding-dong is not a good movie. Yes, very shocking, I know. Upon its release earlier this year, the movie has been universally demolished by practically everyone who saw it. And for good fucking reason. Rings is a movie that completely fails on all fronts. The acting was god-awful, the plot was illogical and nonsensical, and most importantly, the movie was not scary in any way, shape or form. I'm actually baffled that someone was able to sit down, watch this pile of garbage, and unironically give it a positive rating. I know that sounds incredibly pretentious, but I'm just trying to be honest here. And hopefully with this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. Alright, so the movie starts off with this plane scene where this clearly nervous gentleman here immediately explains the premise behind the series.
It sounds crazy, but you ever hear about the videotape that kills you after you watch it?
For those of you unfamiliar with how this works, I shall briefly explain. Videotape, cursed, very bad, do not watch it. If you do watch it, you will get a phone call. From that phone call, you will be told that in 7 days, you will be deader than my non-existent wife. That's pretty much it, boys and girls. Oh, by the way, when I say the movie starts off like this, I'm not being hyperbolic. It's literally a minute and 10 seconds into the movie.
Videotape that kills you after you watch it.
Do you know what pacing is? It becomes pretty obvious that the movie doesn't even attempt to establish some sort of mood or character, and just eliminates any sort of pretense that the people involved in making this actually gave a shit. Do you honestly think that your audience has the attention span of a retarded goldfish, where you can't dedicate at least a couple of minutes to setting up some sort of mood? I'm just saying, being this impatient gives no indication that you actually care about setting up plot or character. So after saying he has roughly 5 minutes left to live,
all I gotta do is make it to the next 5 minutes.
Don't know why he decided to go on a plane if he's this worried. He then proceeds to go to the bathroom where we learn that this woman's friend is also aware of what the tape is. Yeah, that totally doesn't sound incredibly convenient and stupid. Good job, Rings, this is some masterful plot you've got here. Samara then appears and proceeds to start fucking up shit because all sense of subtlety needs to go right out the fucking window. Okay movie, did you really think it was remotely appropriate to play stock action music over this scene? Did you actually think this fit in with the scene? For example, imagine watching this scene from The Thing, and all of a sudden you start to hear this. Kinda negates all the tension that they were trying to establish within the scene, don't you think? Now, it's not having music in a scene that ruins it. What ruins it is by having a score that does not tonally fit with the rest of the movie, which comes off as misguided at best and completely incompetent at worst. And then the scene just sort of ends. Okay then. So what bearing does this scene have on the rest of the movie? Other than this line of dialogue.
Just talking to the guy, turns out that he got all this stuff from a family whose son died in a plane crash a couple years back.
Absolutely nothing. Well, luckily I love to have my time completely wasted, so thank you, movie. Okay, regardless what you think of the previous movies, at least their opening scenes had something to do with the plot. The opening scene served as a catalyst for the main character to get involved. However, with this movie, you could remove the opening scene entirely and nothing would change. So a couple of years after the plane crash, nice font choice by the way, but very astute, we get introduced to I'm grossly overpaid for my role in The Big Bang Theory, yet for some reason I decided to act in this shitty horror movie. He proceeds to buy this VCR which happens to have the cursed tape inside. After trying to get it to work, he eventually succeeds, and begins to watch the tape.
Thank you, Mother, for the chicken tonight! Mum, I love when you cook chicken tonight! Mum, what's for dinner? Is it chicken tonight? Can I help cook the chicken tonight? Can I help stir through the chicken tonight? Chicken tonight! Chicken tonight.
Hello?
I am gonna shove my fist right into your ass.
What? Who is this?
After he gets the call, he starts to notice some pretty horrifying shit, such as, and get this guys, because it's pretty fucking horrifying, the rain going in reverse. Oh man, my asshole is quivering with immense fear right now. The movie then transitions to our main characters, Julia and Holt. I sure hope none of you were expecting well-developed and well-written characters who aren't completely stupid and totally irrational 95% of the time. After some terrible dialogue and them saying goodbye as he's leaving for college, a random 6 weeks pass by.
Oh, baby, it's been 6 weeks. I can't take it.
Okay then. Do keep in mind that this transition of time is just as fragmented and out of place as the next scene directly after it, where another week decides to pass by. Brief reminder to what I said earlier, these scenes do not feel as though that they give a shit about establishing any sort of flow within the story. These transitions of time feel incredibly rushed and stilted, and that gives me a suspicion that they don't really give a shit about what they're creating. This also makes sense of time and pace disjointed, poorly edited, and confusing. You do realize it's pretty fucking important to at least have some sense of flow and time in a movie such as this. In fact, it's probably the one fucking thing you should have gotten right, because the core premise behind the series is a focus on time. But anyway, Blandface hasn't responded in about a week or so, and this causes our main character to become somewhat concerned. After some pointless nightmare sequence with a wonderfully predictable jump scare, again, throwing all sense of subtlety and nuance out the fucking window, the main character gets a vague and confusing Skype call from some random woman.
Where is he?
Who are you?
Where's Holt?
She offers some cliche warning stating that,
She's coming. There's no stopping her.
yes, because she clearly knows who the fuck you're talking about. So after that pointlessness, she decides to go look for a boyfriend. After finding where his classes are, she encounters Professor Dying Career, where he offers some pseudo-intellectual advice. She then confronts him and he basically tells her to fuck off. She follows him to this secret floor on the college campus, where she discovers him and the vague woman from earlier in a heated discussion.
You don't have much time. You need to trust me.
How could I ever trust you?
Get into your studio, don't talk to anyone along the way. Make a copy of the video and wait. I'm gonna send someone right now. Hey.
Everything's gonna be fine, darling. You understand?
Yes, I understand. You don't.
The reason why I'm showing you this scene is mainly because of context, because this is where things start to get really fucking stupid. So after their confrontation, Julia decides to follow the vague woman to learn what happened to her bland-faced boyfriend. After a few lines of dialogue and an I need to show you something cliche,
But I need to show you something first.
she leads her back to her house. And we have now reached the point in the video where I need to explain some stuff. So by this universe's rules, in order to escape death, what you need to do is make a copy of the tape and show it to someone else, thereby passing on the curse. In order for that person to escape, the same process needs to occur, and it's all one big long cycle. It's eventually revealed that Dying Career here is running an experiment to determine the existence of a soul. I will get to the issues with that in due time. But how it works is that one of them watches the tape, they make a copy, and they have someone they refer to as a tail, someone who is supposed to watch the copy before that person ends up getting killed. If it was not made already 100% completely obvious, this woman has seen the tape, and she's basically baiting Julia to watch it so that way she can escape death. She leads her back to her apartment where Blandface conveniently starts contacting her. He tells her not to watch the tape, and then the two briefly have a struggle.
I need you to help me.
You'd think with someone with their life on the line would, actually want to try and break down the door, aside from just lightly banging on it. No joke, 20 seconds later we learn that her time is up. So wouldn't you want to be just, a little bit more aggressive. While on this train of thought, if she was this short on time, why the hell would she go back to her apartment? Surely there would have been someone there who could have watched the tape. And even if there wasn't someone there who could have watched the tape, why would you send them away when you could just bring them here to a place they are familiar with? It makes even less sense when she is this short on time. When she gets back to her apartment, there is 5 minutes to spare before her time is up. So it makes little sense to send her away. I don't know why she didn't make this clear to you when she was there. Maybe she's just desperate to kill herself. I mean, she tried jack shit to get the door open, so I have that suspicion. Doesn't matter now anyway because her time is up. So after she gets done in and another jump scare happens because this is smart intellectual horror, Holt then arrives and he and Julia go back to some hotel where he explains the situation to Professor Dying Career here.
Gabriel, do you know about Sky?
I know. Someone put a picture of her online. Everyone's dropping out.
What? Okay, first of all, who and how? No one else entered her apartment. There was no one else who could do that. I personally love the idea of Samara herself doing it, as if she has some sort of Twitter account where she just posts this shit to fuck with people. Holt then explains the situation to Julia, pretty much reiterating what I had said earlier.
Gabriel said a few of us were going to be chosen for this experiment. If you just heard the way he described it, that we could prove the existence of a soul, of life after death.
Okay, proving the existence of a soul in the afterlife. That was your main hypothesis. But how were you running this experiment? What evidence were you gathering for it? What research were you conducting in order to prove this? Surely this would be a psychological issue considering that not everyone is going to be seeing the same thing. Are you monitoring changes in their mental condition? Are you monitoring mental development? What research is taking place? I get gathering information. I get analyzing the tape and interpreting its meanings. But how are you proving of the existence of an afterlife when you're not even monitoring the people you are directly endangering by conducting this experiment? Furthermore, I would like to refer back to this scene.
How could I ever trust you?
Get to your studio. Don't talk to anyone along the way. Make a copy of the video and wait. I'm gonna send someone right now. Hey.
Why didn't you have a tale planned out for her previously? This all could have been avoided if you had someone pre-planned to watch the tape well before she was at any point in danger. I initially thought that Holt was her tale and that's why she was looking for him. Therefore, it would make sense as to why he disappeared and why she seemed desperate to find him. But he already stated that he watched the tape 12 hours after her.
I watched it 12 hours after Sky.
So why was she looking for him in the first place? In fact, why the hell did he decide to disappear? Why did you completely cut off all contact? God, this is so fucking stupid. Julia then decides to save her bland-faced boyfriend and begins to watch the tape herself.
Hypothetical self-defense scenario. Peacekeeper. You're coming at me in a dark alleyway. You've got some sort of weapon. You're enraged, eating gallons of ice cream, stuffing rocks in yourself. But I don't have time to bed you. I don't have time to fuck you calm. I didn't want it to be like this. I'm that nigga. exactly what she did and drove to a whole other fucking city. Fucking kill yourself, Ryan. At any point where you're like, wow, it's been taking you 20 minutes to get to me. Where are you? I think you might be going the wrong way. No, you didn't fucking say that. You let me drive to another fucking city. Fuck you. If this happened once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, or even 5 times, I wouldn't be this upset. But because it happens every single time when I play a fucking game with you, I'm fucking furious. Fuck Ryan. Ryan, kill yourself.
So after that spooky vision, which ends abruptly, Holt wakes up and neither of them seem remotely concerned that she now only has a week left to live. Like they really couldn't give 2 shits at this stage. The 2 of them then go see Professor Diane Correa.
You know why I wasn't answering your calls, right? It was to protect you from this.
Oh, good lord, this movie is going to kill me. Can I just say, I think you might be actually brain dead. So, let me get this straight. You decided not to respond to her so that she wouldn't get involved. Except that you didn't realize by not responding to her, you prompted her to come looking for you when you could have just easily sent her a few messages saying you were okay, so that way she wouldn't come looking for you. So you seriously thought that by not saying anything whatsoever, that she wouldn't be worried in the slightest. I do not know how much more I can take of this. Suddenly, Julia faces one of the most terrifying ordeals of her life.
Jules! What happened?
A bird. There was a bird.
Julia!
See? I told you there's a bird.
I love how this actress is putting more emotion into seeing a fucking bird rather than the prospect of actually being killed within a week. Why did you need to act so irrationally over a fucking bird? So they speak with Diane Correa and it's more of that same bullshit about how it was an experiment and some shit, and no one cares. No one actually fucking cares. So they proceed to scan her hand and it has some super duper important message on it. But if anyone already watched the trailer, they already know what it says on her hand.
This mark on your hand, it says rebirth.
This is probably a fuck up on the marketing department's end, as this is meant to be a super duper twist that you didn't see coming, but no one cares because, 1, it's not interesting, doesn't make a whole ton of sense, and again, no one fucking cares. Continue. They find out that she can't make a copy of the video because, again, she's incredibly important for some reason. Funny how the blandest of people are somehow always selected for great things. So they somehow determine that within the video is another video. It's dumb supernatural bullshit, so there is no point in me trying to question it at this stage.
What is that? Go back. Right there.
The bird. I told you in the car I saw that bird.
He's the fucking bird, people!
Julia then decides to watch this new video and things are just as strange as usual.
Current political climate regarding gun control, we thought we'd get them started early. Now watch me pull back this foreskin. Just place these cheese-flavoured golf balls in a cocaine line. And to reload, you just need to jerk off this oversized Pez dispenser.
Don't talk to me like I'm some kind of fucking chump. Alright? Because
Jules,
I'm not. I'm a
baby, tell us what you see.
A family man. A man of people, a man of the church, a man of the country. I'm a patriot, a veteran, a man of God, a missionary, a postman. I work at Jamba Juice. Okay, my dog is Spade. I have a shirt
Jules?
that reads, if you don't like me, go fuck your mother. My friends are all dead. I went to India once. I like bowling.
50 gold! You want a present? I want 73!
So with this new footage, Diane Correa says this.
You know, Primitive cultures believe that the only way to free a soul is to burn the body. That is, if you can find it.
They then briefly explain Samara's backstory, which is she got abandoned at birth, became a demon child, got fucking owned by some whale, which prompted her to become an evil spirit. This then prompts Julia to go search for Samara's body and break the curse. So they decide to head out to her place of origin, while Dying Korea gets a call in for a Big Bang Theory reunion.
Girl.
What girl?
You're lucky it wasn't another bird, or otherwise you would have been stuck there for another 5 minutes. So they arrive at some inn, where Julia recognizes the woman from earlier in this picture. It seems this lady has been missing for years, and when she asks for more, this woman basically tells her to fuck off. Seems to be a reoccurring theme with this movie. So they walk around for a bit until they find the cemetery where Samara's grave is. And bada bing, bada boom! More scary shit. Okay, I need to point this out. Why the fuck does Samara feel the need to make herself appear when the character themselves can't see her? She isn't fucking Michael Myers. Unless of course she's trying to break the fourth wall. I mean, she might be the Deadpool of shitty horror movies. So after that vision, which goes nowhere like most things with this movie, they get introduced to Vincent D'Onofrio's character. Oh boy, it's like I'm watching Sinister again, except this is just slightly more stupid. He simply tells them that he is aware of Samara's existence, and there's something about a priest who was supposed to get rid of her body, but there was a flood, and now her body is gone. I don't know, it's very poorly explained. During this, Dying Korea realizes the mark on her hand is Braille, which begins to set up the oh so amazing twist that's coming up. He decides to drive up to them, but conveniently gets into a car crash, where they conveniently happen to stumble across him, and after a series of coincidences, he ends up dying. A character dying before they happen to reveal important information in the most convenient way possible. What an interesting and unique development within the story. This has me on the edge of my seat. I am brimming with excitement. I cannot wait to see what happens next. So Julia discovers that the woman she saw earlier was actually Samara's biological mother. She goes back to the church and she finds that the priest had a rape dungeon and that he's the father of Samara. I wonder who it could be. During this, Holt speaks to that other woman from before, and she pretty much states what's already obvious in that the blind dude is the priest. Vincent D'Onofrio turning out to be the bad guy?
Well, imagine my shock.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the main villain for this movie is not the demonic ghost girl, but a fat blind priest with a stick. Anyway, Julia unknowingly heads back to him to tell him of recent developments, and he pretty much reveals everything we already know. Seeing as I am someone who does like to give credit where credit is due, I will give some praise to this one concept.
See, Julia, she didn't take my side. I did.
I actually like the idea of someone trying to game the system by blinding themselves, and I feel it's an actual decent concept. Unfortunately though, it's wasted on this pile of dog shit. So the next 10 minutes or so just turn into Don't Breathe, I'm not even joking. And it's at this stage we really get to see how fucking useless the main character is.
But you, Julia, I can hear your every...
You are not fighting John Wick. You are running away from a fat blind dude who is chasing you with a stick.
Will not set her free!
How are you this fucking bad? He is waving his stick around with no skill whatsoever. It should be pretty fucking easy to outmaneuver him. How do you even exist? I mean, if it was a car door, then I would feel you have a reason to be terrified, but he really is not that much of a threat. So she ends up giving him a brief tumble down the stairs before she goes to his basement where she finds Samara's body. But it turns out he had quick revive and he begins to choke her out. Samara then crawls out of this phone and kills him instantly. Again, nice to know that interesting concept was fucking wasted. So with him being dead, they gather up her remains and decide to burn it, hoping that stops the curse. Even though it was never stated that was the definite answer. And yes, while Dying Korea did state that some cultures believe that burning a body would allow the soul to pass on, that is just a theory. It was not a definite answer. You went on this wild goose chase without knowing if your desired goal would remotely solve the problem. So while they think everything is all fine and dandy, Holt begins to read the messages that Dying Korea had left him before he died. Don't know why this didn't happen sooner, but who cares about logic when you have that good old dramatic reveal. You know, the most disturbing part I find about the scene isn't so much the scene itself, but the fact is that, most likely, for someone out there, this is probably their sexual fetish. And then the movie ends with the super epic twist that nobody saw coming, even though it's kinda stupid, and you spoiled it in the trailer, and it doesn't make much sense, and apparently Julia is the origami killer.
Julia?
So yeah, ring-a-ding-a-ding shit, fag, dick in my ass is a pretty shit-tastic movie. Pretty obvious that everyone behind this movie did not give a shit about what they were doing, and this was just a simple and easy cash grab. No, this is not a Tommy Wiseau or Neil Breen level of incompetence, this is just fucking laziness. Because if we were on that tier of filmmaking, this movie would be much, much more entertaining. Because when this movie isn't stupid and illogical, it's fucking boring and obnoxious. And when the best thing I can say about your movie is one concept that I feel was underutilized, that should give you some indication of what kind of piece of garbage you're getting into.